All right, everybody, welcome. It's an amazing week, a week before August 17th, which is a big day, I hear, even though we all know November 26th is the real date, right? Because things can change up until then, don't forget. But this is why we're talking to Brian and Brady at Lofty. One of our concerns, because I am a real estate agent, I do have a team. One of my concerns is how to best pivot into this new world. And while people are saying, stop working with buyers, only go to listings, I don't know that it's that simple. In fact, I think while everyone is looking at one thing, I think the opportunity is in what people aren't looking at right now. So with that, Brady, I'll go to you first. Tell us a little bit about you, and then Brian, only because a lot more people know Brian. Brady, tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Well, thank you, Tristan. Hey guys, Brady Mosk here with Lofty. I'm the senior manager of the inside sales team with us. Been on board with Lofty for about 6 years at this point. So been a really fun ride. I was a part of the community here when the real estate space was much different, right? It certainly has evolved a lot. So we're thrilled to continue to be able to improve our products to help folks be positioned for the NAR ruling, the changes in the guidelines that are going on, and the evolving market that we're living in right now. So just thrilled to be a part of the webinar, and we'll be adding some more commentary and showcasing the product that we have here.
I like that. All right, Brian, you're back. You're back in business. You're back working with Lofty. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm Brian Harmon. I'm Chief Strategy Officer here at Lofty, and obviously I've been around the space for a long time. A lot of friends, and I consider family in the realtor space and the broker space and enterprise space, mortgage space. All the people attending here from Z57 to Zerpal to Conversion to KV Core to Lofty. I came here after taking a break, and I found that Lofty was the best product for the future in real estate. And part of that decision had to do with the topic we're talking about today, to put out products and to educate the community. So there's two things that you do when you put out a product or products is both you provide a value to the customer base and to the realtor community, but you also educate them to the things that are going to drive business that they can use no matter what they do in the space. So part of this call is to really educate about what's happening in the space, how to pivot, and using the 20 years of experience. We've all been here. We've all seen this. What's really going to drive the future in the space compared to is it something we all freak out about? Is it something? Well, one of the things that we've been talking a lot internally about is this very topic. And we're pushing hard for this new product offering, but this is not a product offering that an agent can't manually do down the road or do something, but we made it simple. So when we talk about what we're going to be Lofty Blast going forward as this comment, we want to talk about what the purpose of this is so that agents get that value and take it away from them. The core principle of what this conversation, which is about, is homeowner to renter, hyperlocalism, creating brand awareness in specific targeted markets that allow for agents to have a search to settlement lifetime value. And in the commission lawsuit, we have to have lifetime value in how you deal with your community as an asset and not a transactional, because we're moving away from transactional assets, wanting a buyer that wants to buy today, to lifetime value assets, but you're commuting. It's old school 20 years back. So we really need to start thinking about the business that way. If we want to earn commissions, it is a commissionable asset. A renter and a homeowner are your assets.
I like that. I like that. And yes, look, it's always been about the relationship in our business. And I think it just, now people are focused on it more because of what's happening. So I love that talk. I love that you went there. Brian, where do we start with generating hyper-local leads that actually convert, man? Because that's the biggest challenge. People will call you up and be like, that didn't work. That didn't work. And it's not because they're not calling, right? Because some do. But where do we start with this?
So as we go into this, and this is really not a slide, this is a talk track, and then Brady's going to come in with some of what we find in our nurture program and AI and how we nurture leads in different stages automatically are things that we believe that are important. But let me set the table what we're really talking about today. So historically speaking, agents where do leads come from and what is a lead? And I mean, I start there because it's important. Leads are homeowners or renters, and it's like they're out there and they're all a lead until they become a client or an opportunity, which means they actually have intent to buy or sell. Just because they're looking at homes online, just because they went to Facebook and saw your picture, and just because they did this or pulled a flyer from, how I say nosy people pull flyers on their walking their dog. All of that is hyper local marketing. That is creating your asset opportunity. And so a homeowner or a renter is your asset. So in doing that in the commission lawsuit, we have to put both buyer agency agreements together now to get them in a longer term process, because if we wait till where they're ready to buy, they've already made a decision to work with a realtor by then. And that person is probably under an agreement. So we can't just we gotta put a value. We have a listing presentation tool now. We have a buyer presentation tool. Whole point is we have to change the way that we go to leads. So if it's a person looking outside the area, it's much harder to do that. So if they live outside your community and moving to your area, we can't ignore them. They're more likely shopping on Zillow, and they probably don't have a realtor yet. And yes, if we're buying pay-per-click or doing that type of long-term nurture, that's a totally different approach. But if we really want to maximize the value of hyper-local leads that convert, then we need to be doing very, very targeted lead value in local markets through Facebook, social media, and a lot of different avenues that they're hyper local to the area. More importantly, as we talk about this, so Tristan, as your team, using your team as an example, and I'm going to make this real short and get to the meat and potatoes, is if you know that you have a listing in the market, you would love to draw a circle on a map if you could, and hyper target people within 15 miles of that listing, create a dynamic ad that brings in a lead automatically. And by the way, if you're brand new in the real estate and you got your first listing, can you afford to spend $1,500 a month on some dynamic content ad that you may or may not convert? No. What if you could just push a button and in 7 days generate 15 to 20 leads or 10 leads?
I like that.
It's on demand, like an ATM. So we want to make hyper local leads accessible.
Wait. Is that it's on demand like an ATM? Can we have that as a shirt and then have it say Lofty?
Well, this is what agents, I do my presentations on this internally in the office we as an organization at Lofty and all agents as a rule of thumb need to be able to go boop whenever they want, boop, and they could create a hyper local, hyper demand, hyper targeted brand specific ad that can drive eyeballs to their listing. Now, if they log around, and everybody's done their ads on Facebook, but they only get results because it's not gamified.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that. Brady's going to talk about that next. I'm talking about the big picture. Boop, yourself into some leads. What happens after that with AI to nurture that person? So who are we targeting?
You're giving us, and then we'll get into it because I have a question for Brady too. You're giving us the ability to take one opportunity and multiply it so that we have a lot of different opportunities.
It's basically geo-farming lead gen.
Okay.
Taking an idea, but not doing it where agents sign up for a massive amount of hope and don't get results. They're priced out of that. The average agent and everybody listening to this call are priced out of lead gen. They go off to a company that all these top agents are $15,000 to $3,000, and I'm living the dream and I'm buying a bunch of pay-per-click leads that don't convert. Those aren't hyper local. Your business is asset local. That's what it is. That's where we make money in real estate. The more assets we control, people are your assets, the better off we are. So to your question, what this means is it's now the barrier, and this is what Lofty and what we're doing with now we call Lofty Blast. This is our new product. It's a blast, one boop blast, boom, blasted out your message and you're getting leads back. They are either homeowners or renters. And technically speaking, if your listing's in a subdivision, anybody that in the 10, 15, 20 miles around that listing that you're blasting is going to come back, and they're probably going to be homeowners, not a bunch of renters. They're not a bunch of buyers. They're people that saw that listing and your brand that became a lead. And now if you call them up going, I see you want to buy this listing, that's the big mistake. And Brady's going to talk about that. this lead and the blast is somebody who lives locally. Your approach should be, oh my God, you clicked on the blast. Oh, nice to meet you. Shake their hand, do their thing. Not, hey, I saw you're interested in this listing. Where hyperlocalism is about creating an asset value to that homeowner and that potential renter that will buy. So you're really meeting somebody, they engaged with your brand. This is really great, by the way. You did it in 7 days. You got 5, 10. One of my most recent, she did a webinar with me and she did it on the phone. And 7 days later, she had 22 prospects for, less than dinner. Now this is $80. We're talking 1 week, boom, you're done. And you got leads. It's like literally pushing an ATM.
You know what? Before I go to Brady, because I know Brady's going to show it. Well, Brady, do you need an address or do you all have this set up?
This is
you know what? I've got a zip code ready to go to kind of walk you through
yeah.
it.
Why don't you put that up right here, Brady, real quick? Just start to prep it to that. Yeah.
As you're popping it up, Brian, you reminded me of something that Sam Altman, ChatGPT, the ChatGPT guy says.
Oh,
he
absolutely,
says,
guys.
He says in the next few years, who knows how many years, but the next few years, we're going to have single person use AI to become a billionaire. And you just reminded me of that when you're saying that this one agent got this many leads and now can create more opportunities. I'm thinking, and this is what I've said from the beginning, which is with AI, where it's heading with a tool like Lofty, soon a mega agent is going to be able to use Lofty, AI, multiple admins and multiple ISAs, all AI, and have maybe a very tiny staff of showing agents. And boom, you're producing as much as a team and your ROI is insane. This is what we're heading towards.
This is exactly why I came to this company. And the reason I came here is that they are ahead on AI. They're ahead on on all of the tech that's out there. It's not a point solution that you try to bundle in because it's a nice shiny object. All the shiny objects are there and we'll keep building those shiny objects. So it's more affordable when you think about it that way for the average agent or the enterprise broker that has our system that provides the same Lofty in a box that we normally charge, for, we're the top of the system. But if you go work for an office that has our system, you get the same independent value as if you bought it direct from us. So you have an option to work for a broker that has us and get everything, which is great for brokers. Offer this tech in a box, like your business, your agents aren't paying full price for their Lofty system. If you Tristan had Lofty, they're getting Lofty agent, Lofty team, Lofty broker, Lofty enterprise, and everything below that comes with Blast and everything an agent needs. So they're not having to buy all this expensive systems out there, because how can we afford that when our commissions are being constrained?
Exactly.
So real quick, just transitioning here to the product. The barrier to this value here, because agents have blasted listings forever, but in this market, we have a lack of listings. So we not only limit the ability to really dynamically advertise, but we limit it to only agents that have a listing. And that's a once in a while thing, a value for hyperlocal type of advertising. With Lofty, Blast, and Lofty, the product, we extend it to geo-targeting through zip code and community. So what we're doing is it's any agent that has any idea of how they want to market and dominate a zip code with their listing or dominate a zip code with a hyperlocal ad. It's not pricing. So it's not just the listing that's driving. We created it so it could be a one-time boop for an ad that generates leads in 7 days. This has never been done in real estate. A little boop ad that it's open to all agents to just do without a listing or a listing. So it's really, really impactful for it's the average agent's way to generate business. So Brady's going to talk about the next phase. Obviously, this is the boop part of it. You get the Facebook dynamic AI chat box he's going to talk about. This is our Lofty product. But the takeaway from this conversation before we move in, this is the accessible way for agents to think about the business. How do I access more assets for the least amount of money possible? And then put ads there so that we can now nurture them, those assets, and the transactional opportunities through a journey. And that journey has to be driven by AI. And Brady's going to talk about that now.
Yeah.
All right, Brady, you're up.
Well, good. I'm here to add some color to the boop. Uh, so two things that I wanted to just quickly piggyback on. Number one is the hyper specificity is fantastic, and that can be achieved by entering in a specific zip code or a community that you want to dominate, right? The other element of that is controlling the timeline that you're advertising, right? Most of the time we think about social media marketing on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis, right? What we're trying to do is empower agents to own their life cycle on a weekly basis, a bi-weekly basis. And that means that they can still run ads and promote themselves and their brand and their business, but without being tied to thinking about things on a 30, 60, 90-day kind of run rate. So two pieces of that, right? For the agents that come on board that have a listing and they'd like to find some more leads for that particular property, right? They can immediately come in and with a couple clicks, to Brian's point, come in and immediately start boosting that listing all over Instagram, all over Facebook, and have AI start qualifying and engaging those new leads, right?
And that's correct. One note on this, in the
Sure.
Brady, it's AI, but one thing I left out, it's also retargeting. And so as these impressions come out, we can now retarget and keep your brand automatically in front. And that's also geo farming and keeping your brand in front of these. So it isn't just in the lead, Tristan, all that's automated as well. So hyper local marketing is not just get the lead and hope you call them. Hyper local marketing is constantly being the person that they see as they go around the world in that local area. And that's really what we need in this moving forward. So go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that.
No, that's a good point, right? Because when somebody's clicking on your property, or if you're doing the zip code blast and you're advertising listings that are maybe not your own, but other listings that are available in the brokerage or the best particular listings in a certain location and price point of your choosing, right? What we'll be doing then is retargeting those visitors and those people that have viewed your ads with other homes that are really similar in criteria. We're here to make you as memorable as possible, as synonymous with the process of going from search to settlement, right? That's the whole goal here, is make you synonymous as an agent with the process of buying or selling a home. So when we're leveraging the Lofty, the zip code blast, we can come in and personalize an ad budget. We can personalize a timeline. We're able to provide some clarity on exactly how many leads you should be expecting and the cost per lead that those ads are going to be, or those leads are associated with, right? But equally, if not more important than that, is the follow-up. And that comes from the power of Lofty's AI assistant, which is there to text and qualify leads for you, engage folks whenever they're on the website for you. And as these leads are being engaged by your AI, the main point would be get you on the phone with these folks. And the very first question, it's something that Brian pointed out earlier that I'd like to review, is making sure that you're not just asking them, hey, are you looking to buy this home that you saw on the ad, right? That's way too far. It's, hey, are you a homeowner or are you renting right now, right? Typically, everybody associates Facebook leads and social media leads with finding buyers, but the art form and the challenge for us would be turning someone that's in the mind of looking at homes to be now thinking about, well, shoot, I need to sell my home first, right? So Brian, maybe you can add some more on that.
This is my pet peeve whenever I talk to agents for the last 20 years is buyer seller. I hate the comment. I mean, you shift that mindset. Everybody on this call, everything's shifting to homeowner management. Okay. Manage your asset. And the agent is the center of that homeowner management. You need to manage that experience, that life cycle. You get a listing, you sell it. You better talk to the buyer that buys that listing and say, I manage the homeowners in this market. Let me give you my value prop as an agent. You are the homeowner, experienced homeowner management expert advisor for all homeowners in that market. And if you act that way on all leads, and I'm sorry to be passionate about, Tristan, I'm very passionate about this, you will close more deals. You will collect. Your AI is giving you a tee up to be the advisor. You don't have time to manage your leads. It's about teeing up the prospect to have an intelligent conversation that proves that you deserve a commission. You're not just an order taker. And we need to start. And that's the passion I have. You're a homeowner consultant, you're a renter consultant, and this is putting people in your lap to be their consultant on a weekly basis.
Brady, a couple of questions from the audience before we continue, just so that we kind of answer them as you're moving through. Sam or Brian, are these features available in Canada as well, these that we're looking at?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, next one. Do you have to have a Facebook business page for this, or does it work on your personal page?
It's not a personal page. This is a dynamic ad. So this goes through the dynamic. I'll let Brady answer that question. Sorry, Brady.
Yeah, I mean, you can use a personal page. It's certainly advantageous to use a Facebook business page, right? That goes very, very well with the Facebook ads that we're running. But we're flexible, right? We're not going to say absolutely no to helping empower you to get more leads and more business. But best practice is using a Facebook business page.
So let me connect that. We're not driving the content and the AI bot driving this back to your business Facebook page. That's not how these types of ads work. This is dynamic Facebook ads that creates an ad service within Facebook. And the validity rate of information is the highest validity rate of most lead gen, because on Facebook, it's like kind of an automatic pull the content in. Their name, their contact record from Facebook. So there's very few leads that come in with Mickey Mouse. That's what's so dynamic about this. It's all about creating the ability to contact somebody in a hyperlocal area and be that expert. So you want to have valid information. That's the value of this and the value of that hyperlocalism.
Yeah.
So that lead that goes into the database.
I'll explain this to everyone a little bit more. So I think it was late last year. I'm not too sure on the time. Facebook came up with something called conditional logic and on instant forms for lead ads. And that conditional logic option allows the creator of these ads, Lofty being one of them, right, to be able to say if then that happens, right, based on questions. And this is how they come to you. So if you have further questions as to how this works, because yes, we can do it, but hell no, I'm not going to spend my time doing this all the time. This is why I have Lofty do it. There's the link. You can go take a look at for yourself on how conditional logic works. But for me, I'm more interested in saying, hey, how can I do this more in scale without me being involved in creating this?
It's the boop. It's you boop it. Don't worry about it, right? And then what you need to worry about is the way you engage these leads personally. If the AI is, how's it going? Look at this. They're on listing alerts automatically. Market reports are there. There's so many different avenues to engage automatically. But if you do talk to someone and you do get them on the phone, as Brady's talked about, you better have a value that's not about how's it going? Are you looking to sell or buy? I mean, my God, because we're in the commission lawsuit phase. If it's somebody who's renting, you want to put them onto a buyer agency agreement to make them a homeowner someday, not a, hey, you're not ready to buy right now. See you later. If that's our attitude, that's why we're getting our commission deducted. Honestly.
I agree. I'm just answering some more questions, man, but I agree with you. Does this work in Mexico or Belize? Because we've got some people from over other countries.
That's a really good question. Now we have a beta testing on it. If it's a listing with Facebook, it should work. And so if they have, Lofty and they have IDX or they have properties, it should work. But if they need to come and do a consult with one of our sales staff to lofty.com and go here, and we can explain how to access Lofty Blast, our products right now, this new product, and it should be able to work. And anywhere that we can put Lofty in should be perfect, and we shouldn't have to have a problem with that.
We've got clients in around the Cabo San Lucas market leveraging these services right now. Belize, I can't say that we do have any active clients leveraging the service, but if there's an MLS in Belize and we can apply to it, right, we absolutely have the ability to leverage these sorts of services as well.
Good answer. Yeah. If there's an IDX, guys, that is connected to an MLS, that's how this works, because the IDX feed is what the dynamic part of this is using, right? So yeah, that's the answer for it. Here's some more. There's a ton of questions. There's no way we're going to get through all of them. So I'm just going to go through the ones that I think we haven't answered. So here we go, guys. All right. How does the system qualify the leads so the leads are of value? And so hold on to that one. And is AI part of this pricing?
Yes. So a couple of things. Yes on that, AI, right, Brady? Correct? Yes.
Correct. So AI is included to engage anybody that displays intent on these ads, right? So if somebody is clicking on one of these ads, they're immediately taken to your Lofty IDX website. As soon as they are on that IDX website, that's where our AI assistant does two things. Number one is it engages them in a live chat on that website, right? It's trying to identify their personal information. It's trying to help set up property searches for them. It's helping to provide listing suggestions for you. Most importantly, it's trying to schedule appointments for you, right? As leads are being captured by your website, our AI transitions from online chat to text message conversations. So you should not have to cold call every new lead that's being captured through a zip code blast or a listing boost, right? You should have AI engaging those leads, texting those leads, and then tapping you on the shoulder when those leads are displaying a high proclivity to want to have a conversation right now. That's when you need to pick up the phone, get them onto a call, and start asking those questions about home ownership, rentering, what their vision is for the future. Talk to me about your dream home, build that relationship, and start pushing for that buyer's agreement.
And I want to add to that question one more time. As everybody's listening to this, the quality of the lead is not the quality of purchase. The quality of the lead is not whether they want to buy. The quality of the lead is not dictated by their intent. If you walk into a party, if I walked into a party, Tristan, full of people, and I said, how many homeowners are in the room? And I said, God, I don't want to talk to you because I don't want you as a lead because you're not looking to list today. The point is everybody is a homeowner or renter. If you have AI, you have a chance for them to list and buy with you someday, but you can't watch them all. So the qualifying is keeping them engaged and putting every single person, hyper local, every asset, every lead, every fan and family. It does not matter whether they're 18, 10 years from now. My daughter, who's 29, just bought her first house. She used a realtor. I've been in the business for, 20 years. Guess what? She used somebody I knew. Now she's 18. She's not interested, but she could be nurturing and dreaming for 10 years in your system. And if you treat that person as, I don't want to deal with you and I don't want to call you and you're not a good lead, that's what we get with no commission. We have to earn it. And the earn it means stay in front of them, stay active, give them value. That's hard. That's impossible. You can't do it without AI, like Brady pointed out. So the quality is the ability to have a conversation, to talk, to engage, to get them to talk back. So your AI asks questions. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, would you like to have a list analysis? Yes, I would love to have a list analysis. Ding, 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 boop. Now you're ready. You can call them and go, great. Act like you did it, please. Act like, hey, my assistant told me to call you and because you wanted this. Nice to meet you. My name's Brian. I'm this hyper local person. They're local. Your zip code. Where you got them from. They live it. That's the power of hyper localism. You can take them to coffee.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key. We have got a great question. I have an answer for this, but I want to know what you guys say, because when we get asked what's the cost per lead that comes through, how many leads will we get? Believe it or not, it is very different. We just helped out somebody that is a personal friend. I went through this whole process with them, San Antonio, and they said, I want to do this my own. So we did it. And the amount of money was $20,000 in a month on this. It was completely different than what we run in Los Angeles, the results. So the cost per lead, believe it or not, is not the same in each city, definitely in each state. So it's very different. They'll give you an average and it won't even be close sometimes. So
yes.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Preach here, Tristan. That's a gimmick to get you to buy something when they try to sell you, promise this. And that's also the anxiety for everybody on this call, that I've made some decisions and I didn't get my result and I got mispromised. And then they're worried about that. That's a problem that we have as vendors that we need to set. And Brady's and me are very particular on expectation setting on this topic. So let me just address that. The cost per lead is not important. Cost is about how much money you make. This is an old SaaS. It's not the cost, it's how much money you make.
Yeah,
so
it is ROI on this based on a couple of things, I think. Your area, but more importantly, this is the harder part, how great you are in actually having a real conversation with the people that you're on the phone with. Because Brian and I can jump on with somebody and have amazing conversations, nurture them for 6 months, and then they end up buying, versus somebody who will pick up the phone and be like, this is garbage. Tristan, why did you tell me to pick this up? It doesn't work. And then it doesn't work, right? This is what we live in.
Exactly.
I live in this world with these guys daily. So
it's the quality of conversation. It's the quality of how you convert. It's the quality of your communication, not making it about you, making it about them. So if you say, I want to qualify, and you have these, hey, when are you looking to move? What are you looking to do? How are you looking? What you're telling the consumer is, I don't want to waste my time working with you. I only want what I want, which is a qualified person. That's what you want. The consumer wants, would you like a list power analysis to help you better manage your asset? Oh, what's that? A list power analysis is, and that's how, by the way, that should be one of the first things on this hyperlocalism you say is, and people listening, what's a list power? I don't know what that is. It's just a CMA. It's a fancy version. And we have we have a great listing presentation CMA tool in Lofty. It's about creating a need to talk to you is what you're trying to do here. Not saying, are you looking to buy or not? It's creating a need to discuss your expertise with me, is that's what's going to be the new age of commission lawsuit moving forward. You have to create a need to talk to you.
Yeah.
And they don't want, by the way, Tristan, I know we're getting close to time. Tristan, have you ever had a situation where a buyer or seller wants to really talk to an agent?
Yeah, dude. Good question. Good question. I think I'm calculating here, and I'm going to take an average. Okay. Just because this is important so that people know. I put in an average of $21 a lead, right? Just because I picked that. It's an area that I cover. That's what it ends up being here. It doesn't mean it's going to be in your area. It's $21 a lead for me. All right. With that, I'm saying based on our numbers for running Google and Facebook for the last, Facebook since 2016, Google since 2008, 9, when they were called up something else, 1 out of every 80 leads for us will end up closing. So if we go 80 times 21, that's $1,680 that every closing for me, that's how much it costs for every closing, $1,680. My average commission, my average price point, you can calculate the commission. Our average price point is 1.3 million. Does the ROI make sense here? Hell yeah, it does. This is why we go back to Brian. It's like, wait a second, I think you're asking the wrong questions. It's like, let's go back to your ROI in your area, right? What's your price point? And are you any good on the phone? That's what it comes down to. So
Absolutely.
Hopefully that clears it up a little bit.
The only thing I'd also add to that too, Brian, and to Tristan, is that consistency is really important, right? Anytime you think about lead generation, while we give you the ability to do it for as little as a week, 2 weeks, a month, right? Having the long view is the best way to help optimize these campaigns and ensuring that what we're trying to do, reducing that cost per lead, you're setting yourself up the best way as possible. I also saw a really quick question about the process of these zip code blasts. So if you're already on board with Lofty, you can go into our marketing tab, you can go to the zip code blast, pretty easy. What you're doing is entering in your target zip code, your desired timeline, a week, a 2-week period, reoccurring, right? And simply submit. Our marketing team will design ads, serve ads, optimize your campaigns, and ensure that AI is following up and qualifying your leads. So that's step number one. If you are not with Lofty, that's the point of the getting in touch with myself, with Brian, our team, and helping to coordinate an appointment to learn more about the marketing tools we have, our CRM, our website, everything in between.
Yeah, that's a great point, Brady. And I want to stress and reiterate one more thing, Tristan's your point. Now, keep in mind, cost per lead on this is not typically like we think of a long-term budget that's spending thousands of dollars that you typically spend. And this is a 1-week class, allowing agents to do very targeted. It's a lot less, lower cost per lead. So the average lead cost on like an $80 1-week blast, if you get, is we're averaging between $6 and $11 per lead by now. Okay. Just to give you, but it's a 1-week thing. It's like, it's that boop. It's that quick target. So if you have a listing or you have an event coming up in a community and you get a lead, now you can follow up. Hey, I got an event in your area. Come visit, because you know they live there. They're in that zip code. So it's and one other note, what we find, it's all about another thing. And by the way, everything we're talking about, even if you don't have Lofty, you probably have products that may not have the AI and the search thing that we're trying to drill to everybody they need to get, but anybody can do a Facebook ad. Now, if they want to manually do it and do that. So this is not about selling you Lofty or Lofty Blast. This is a whole thing that anybody can truly do manually or buy a third-party product. It's just keep your eye on that hyperlocal ad. And the most important thing about this cost per lead and hyperlocalism is to note what Brady said. Consistency outside your market, that they don't live there, doesn't have the same bang for the buck as consistency local. And the second point that Brady brought up is, I have a doing with Tristan all the years, is the first month or first blast you do, the chance of getting somebody, I'm ready to buy now or I want to list now, isn't going to happen. The second month, so you might have somebody roll over from the first that now might be ready because of the nurture. Then second month, so you're building like compound interest. So your second year of consistency of doing this is double the ROI, Tristan, in my historical, is double your ROI because you're building on top of. And that mountain keeps climbing as long as you're consistent. What agents do wrong is jump out of the bus too much. They go and try it out, leave.
This compounds.
It compounds. Like compound interest. So the worst thing agents do is they drop something because it didn't work.
You know, it's like mailing. You know, you start and you're like, this crap's not working 6 months in, and then nothing works. Of course, we've been mailing for years, but it works.
It works.
So the question I have for everyone is, do you have the boop? If you don't have the boop, go to Brady, go to Brian.
Yeah, we really want everybody to check in with Brady and our team about Lofty Blast. Keep their eye on it. Love it.
They're gonna call up and be like, do you guys have
boop?
boop? You guys have
It's all
boop?
about boop. It's not boop.
Actually,
it's not called boop.
Brady, can you message everyone and let them know that it's the boop? Because that's what they're gonna be asking for. We love that boop thing. You know that I want to sign up for that boop thing.
Oh man,
it's all Brian's fault. You could just blame. That was not me. It's Brian.
No, we just took it and ran with it, man.
Yeah, but we as an organization really wanted to create that one-time experience and create a product that's not a $10,000, because no agents can do that. I mean, the 80-90% agents are priced out of actually true lead gen, and they have to depend on leads from somewhere else, and that eats into your commission and it eats into your ability to be successful and create wealth, because that's why we got into the business, is to create wealth.
Yeah, Shay, I would do this. Do this. It's called the zip code blast. This is what I would do.
Yeah,
good question. Do it, guys. Anything else?
No, I'm excited about the opportunity that the commission lawsuit presents to everybody here. So take your anxiety. It's an opportunity, and that's the way we want to look at it. So it's an opportunity, and it's actually a good opportunity. It's turning the clock back to how real estate was done 20 years ago, before people shopping online. Now they have to really deal with an agent. That's the one thing you need to think about when coming up. They have to deal with you because they have to have an agreement to show a house. So you buckle up, get ready. It's a good opportunity, but you better be doing lead gen and marketing and have a strategy. Otherwise, that opportunity is not going to be as big as we think.
That's very true. Very true. This is recorded, everyone. It'll be in the Lab Code Agents YouTube channel in about 3 hours. We're just editing it up. So I just put up the link there. Save it. If you're watching this on replay, you can always reach out to me and I'll connect you to Brian or Brady or Lofty. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.